How can someone make a toxic relationship healthy?
We must make sure that we're healthy first. You will never rectify a toxic relationship if there is still unhealth and toxicity that clings on to you. You need to be able to get healthy enough to rid yourself of that toxicity. Even if you have to exist in it, you can be free from it.
Mm-hmm. That's hard to do.
So you can do, it's very hard. It's very hard, but it's a hard situation. You're trying to get out of something that's wrong. Toxic relationship is wrong. We're not supposed to live in toxic relationships. We were made to have healthy relationships. We're just a broken people. And so we're going to have toxic relationships. If you feel like it is possible, that possibility, that faith exists for you to get back to health, maybe if it started that way, or just develop health if it's always been this way, then I would say you need to get freedom first, because you will never be able to lead the person you're in relationship with if there is still toxicity clinging to you. What is that beacon that they can follow? What is that path that you're laying before them if you're still with them? If you're still laying in that toxicity, if you're still broken and just overcome by it.
Because you're going to feed into it. You just help each other. You help each other stay toxic.
Yeah, and that's a huge thing in relationships is we feed into that toxicity. And when I say get freedom from it, how do you get free from something? You have to realize that you are a slave to it. A slave doesn't know what freedom is until they become aware that they are not. I don't have the ability to speak my mind in the relationship. I don't have the ability to communicate my desires physically. Becoming aware of that and that exists in you is the first step to pursuing freedom to get out of that toxicity, so that you can be that shining example to your spouse, to the person you're in a relationship with, of where to go, of how to develop out of that. And hopefully, and I really just believe that this might be the only way. I mean, I always believe that prayer is a huge part of that. And I know people that aren't the most Christian or religious people, that prayer has really helped them develop out of that, because you want to develop to be a person that your spouse or the person in your relationship can follow. Who do you have to look up to be the person that gets out of that toxicity that you exist in right now?
Right.
That's what a higher power, that's what God, that's what Jesus can offer to somebody, is that thing that exists outside of the toxicity you currently exist in, and you get to keep your eyes on that instead of this. There's something so powerful about looking up to the sky, looking up to the heavens, looking up to something beyond where you exist right now. And that allows you to move forward, to get up, to start pursuing something different than what's around you.
It's the only way you can see a better way.
I think so. And I think if we were to dissect other ways that people have gotten out of toxic relationships or gotten themselves out of the toxicity that they exist in their relationships, it usually comes back to something like that. They found something to look up to that got them to walk forward or out of that environment. So work on yourself, become that person that your spouse or the person you're in a relationship can look to also get freedom.
Yes, because you can't change them.
Yeah, that's kind of what... That's the simple way of saying what I said. You can't change them. You can't say anything. You can't send them to a counselor. You can't send them to this class. You can't make them watch this YouTube video. You can't make them change.
Yeah.
But you can change. And that is so much more powerful than anything they'll watch on YouTube, anything that they will experience in a counselor's office. It just is.
Yeah.
It just is.